Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. My Baobab seeds finally arrived in the mail, right here, and today we're going to start them on the germination process. So I've got 2 packets of seeds here, and they're definitely the right ones. I'll show you a close-up of them. I was sent 2 packets of seeds, and I'll just open up the one and try those to start off with. These seeds came from Edward's Exotic Garden in Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. So not too far away from me. I'll just open up the seed package, put them out on the table here. Here's what the seeds look like. They're heart-shaped or kidney-shaped, and they're about the size of maybe a small bean. So these are African Baobab seeds. The first step to start the germination process is to soak the Baobab seeds in warm rainwater. And I'll keep this bottle of water in my greenhouse so it'll stay nice and warm throughout the day and the nighttime too. All right, so here we go. There's 1 sinks, 2 sinks, 3, 4, and 5. After 48 hours, I should see the seeds swollen up quite a bit, so they should get larger in size and more puffy looking. All right, into the greenhouse they go. And I'll put them in a nice sunny spot right over here. I'll keep these other 5 seeds as extras in case something bad happens to the original 5. You never know, a mouse could get into the seeds as they're germinating. Anything can happen, so it's always best to hold some seeds back in case you have to try again. These Baobab seeds were sent to me by my good friend Tom, and just in case they didn't make it, Jakob in Hawaii was nice enough to go and collect some Baobab seeds for me and send them to me in the mail also. So here's a video of Jakob collecting the seeds off a Baobab tree in Hawaii.
Now, I'm not a great videographer. I'm going to turn around the camera here on my phone. This tree here is actually we call it sausage trees. I'm actually not sure the scientific name. I know that the fruit is poisonous. So right behind, we've got a couple baobabs. There's one here. There might even, yeah, there's another one over here. And this is the big one. I've gotten fruit off of this one before. I haven't checked yet, so hopefully there'll be something up on one of these. I'm gonna stop the video here for a second. Well, the one I took down from the tree actually looks like it cracked a little bit, so I'm gonna try to get another one. Maybe I can reach this one up here. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. Hopefully I can get that one down. And this is a different tree. It's coming from this tree right here. And there are a couple on the ground here too. So I found some nice ones that have fallen, and I will send those as well. Now, there are only a couple on the tree, but I did find this one here on the ground that looks like it's in pretty good shape. And I found another one here on the ground that also looks like it's in excellent shape. So I'm going to grab those 2. And there's one up here on the tree, and I'm going to try to pick this one. Hopefully nobody bothers me about picking it. There it is. And that's the one I sent off in the mail today. So here I am in the midst of this little mini baobab grove here at Ala Moana Park. That's my last video, and I'm going to head off in a bit. So I didn't manage to collect from this big tree. The fruit is too high up and I didn't really see much on the ground. The two trees I collected from was this one, and that's the one with the plaque. It's a beautiful tree, a little bit smaller though. And this other one here, I love the bottle-shaped trunk. It's a smaller one. Very nice tree. I wonder how old it is. It doesn't have a plaque on it, but I'm assuming the three trees are all the same species as the plaque says.
It's good to have lots of baobab seedlings growing. They are a very difficult tree to grow, and especially in this climate. So when the seeds from Hawaii come here, we'll be planting those too. The more the merrier. So thanks, Jacob. That's just awesome. Here's a look at the seeds that Fabian sent to me. These are jack pines and sugar pines, and they're doing really well. Growing bonsai from seeds is a inexpensive way to start the tree you want. I'll show you some examples of some trees that I've grown from seeds. We'll start with my very first bonsai, and this was grown from a seed, a Ficus microcarpa. And you can see the size of it now. It's getting quite large. So that's what happens. This is 27 years old now from a seed. And it's been a really fun journey watching this start off as a little shoot and growing into a fairly mature tree now. Here's a spruce that I grew from a seed. I think this one's about 5 years old now. It's coming along nicely. My American elm here was grown from a seed. I grew it in the front garden for about 10, maybe 12 years in the ground, and then I transitioned it to a bonsai training pot, which it's still in, and I'm just working on the roots and the upper structure. But yeah, so overall I think this one's about 15 years old from a seed. My two birch trees here were grown from seeds, and they're 3 or 4 years old. They're starting to get some branching and some trunk thickness. My acacia trees were grown from seeds, and there's a video showing me planting them on the channel. So these are, I think, 5 years old now, maybe 6. They're growing really well. My Norway maple here was also grown from seed, and it was grown in the front garden for probably, I would say, 10 years. And then it was put in this training pot. My carp oak trees here are grown from seeds. I had a lot more of them, some larger ones, but these are the survivors. They're doing really well. My native red maple was grown from a seed. My Manitoba maples here, they were grown from seeds in the front garden, and they are probably 15 years old now. Doing well. Made the transition from the garden to a training pot. This Transvaal lantern bush was grown from a seed. My root over rock cedars, or Thuya occidentalis, they were grown from seed, and they're about 5 years old now. Looking good. My royal oaks were grown from seed. Doing quite well, thickening up. Getting a new shoot on the leader there. Yeah, doing well. Nice small-leafed oak. My Osage orange forest is in its 2nd year from seeds. Looking really nice. Some of the trees are thickening up really well. Be a nice forest. My monkey ear trees are grown from seed. And I don't know where you would ever get a monkey ear tree if you didn't grow them from seeds. It's pretty cool to have. My bullhorn acacia is doing really well. It is just coming up on its second year of growth now. Doing quite well. My lemon tree is grown from a seed. Getting quite old now. My cedars and my native white pine and the amber maples are growing from seeds. My beech tree is grown from a seed. This will be its second year. My grapefruit tree is from a seed. It's about 20 years old. My orange tree is grown from a seed. It's about 20 years old also. My small guava trees are grown from seeds. My large guava tree was grown from a seed. It's getting quite thick now, the trunk. Getting that nice flaky bark. And starting to get a bit of a branch structure. This Japanese black pine is grown from a seed. It's in its second year now. I've got the baobab seeds soaking in the greenhouse. Let's go in and check up on them. I've read that you should keep these seeds warm, the water warm. So I've got them in the greenhouse here. And at the moment, it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit in the greenhouse, or about 37 or 38 degrees Celsius. So it's really warm in there. The camera lens will fog up as soon as I come in here, but I'll try and show you the seedlings. Here we go. There they are there. Yeah, so they should be good. I'm going to let them soak for 48 hours, and then we'll come back for part 4 of this series. It's time now for today's update. Today's update is my Wax Myrtle forest. It's growing really well and needs pruning. These trees were also started from seeds. Almost feels like you're in a forest. Uh-oh. Zombie apocalypse. Run! My present idea for this forest is not to grow these trees large and in, giant trunks, but just to keep it kind of shaped and maintained, to almost make these trees look like large bushes. So you can see they're starting to gain a lot of vigor up top. The internodes between the leaves, the space between the leaves is getting larger and larger as it gains vigor. So that's why I'm going to prune it today, to keep these small and bush-like. I saw a kind of scale model of a bear that was standing. It would be about this height. I thought that'd look pretty good in this little clearing here. Maybe I'll get that for the future. So I want to start with my tallest tree, which is right here. And I'll just prune it back to leaving some of the new growth, but keeping, 2 or 3 leaves on it. Like that. Same with this shoot here. And I'm always pruning back just above leaves that face outwards, that are fanning outwards from the trunk, to kind of create a bush-like appearance to the tree. Just taking the tips off some of them. So this one's got to be a little shorter because it's, forced perspective. The tallest trees are in the front and you want them to get shorter as you go back. So I'll take this one off here. And back to here. The ones at the outside of the planting you also want to be a little shorter, so it kind of creates a triangular form to the overall profile of the forest. I'm just pruning some of these back ones now. So you can see, here's my tallest trees. So these are still a little tall here, but I can take them back a little further. There's some crossing branches, like you can see this branch kind of crosses in front of this trunk line. So I think I'll remove that. Like that. You want everything to kind of flow outwards. You don't want stuff looking jumbled in the forest. So taking some more tips off here. And this will be an ongoing process throughout the whole summer, is just this kind of maintenance pruning, keeping them trimmed so they don't grow into giant trees all of a sudden. So I'll do the same for the other side now. I'll prune the main tree back. That's getting most of the trees pruned up, but these ones back here need to be shorter. They're getting too tall, so I'll take those back now. It's getting there, but these trees in the back are still too tall. I've got to bring those down. So I'll do that. That's looking better. You can see I've got these ones pruned down in height more now. They may still have to come even further. I'm going to take these down. I think I want this clump to be the highest and these slightly shorter. So there's a bit of variety in the planting. So that looks better if you see it from the front now. You see I've got the tallest part of the planting here, this slightly shorter. They're tapering back. A little more pruning here. Tapering back to get that forced perspective. If you see it from the side, you can see how they're tapered back. I think that's looking quite good. That's it for part 3 of growing a Baobab Bonsai from seed. I hope you join me in 48 hours where we'll be doing part 4, where I'll be peeling the seed coating off the swollen seeds and planting them in a paper towel. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me today in the Bonsai Zone. I've put a piece of threaded rod across the back of the truck here. You can see it right here. So it joins the two sides of the bed together, and it really closed up the gaps. You can see the gap between the side of the bed and the tailgate here. Nice and straight now. The other side pulled in quite nicely too. It's not quite as straight. You can see it's a little bigger gap at the top than the bottom, so it should help. So when they're welding all these holes up and strengthening the bed, there's another hole there. It'll make it all true, so everything lines up in the end, and it's a nice solid box on the truck. Growing bonsai from seeds is a really good way to get the tree you want at the price you get. And just in case the seeds didn't make it to my address, Jakob in Hawaii said he was willing to collect some, not willing, it was nice enough. Well, here's a spruce that God, my American elm here was grown from a seedling. Not from seedling. That's it for part 3 of growing Baobab. That's it for